I'm Patrick Gruber, and I've been reading comics since I was 8 from 1972. I have been involved as a dealer with my ex-partner, Joe Ryder, and a volunteer since it first began. We did the first show together, and then shortly after we volunteered to be part of the committee. And as we met people like Gordon Purcell and Dan Jurgens, who are still heavily involved. And also, at one point in time, myself and another individual who's no longer with us, Pat McDonough, ran the Maplewood Community Center one-day show, and that was a major success, and we had great memories of that. Mid '90s. The Maplewood Community Center event was like in the mid '90s. The first year, we had about 200 people in there and broke about even. The final year, we had the fire marshal shut us down, and we ran out of food at the community center because there had too many people in there, so we had to stop letting people in for a while. And again, that was something that our board members did not think would be a success, and we turned it into a huge success. And that was shortly before Nick joined, Nick Post, and then we moved it to the fairgrounds. Shortly after we volunteered with the convention, most of the core members became customers of a shop that Joe and I bought called Hot Comics, and we were the unofficial corporate headquarters, a meeting place for all the board members back when it was running through the '90s and into the early 2000s. I believe this local convention is very important, not just myself, because it's been part of my life for 4 decades, but also we've done a lot of good with local artists who have become and writers who become more successful, as well as doing many food drives, including my former employer and I did one where between the convention and our 5 locations, the community bank, we raised over 5,000 pounds of food in 1 year at one show. So that was a big deal. I am proud of that. We helped feed a lot of people that were needing food that year, and one of my proudest moments with the convention. As I stated earlier, this has been part of my life for almost 4 decades. Very proud of everything we've done. Very proud of all the friends I met over the years, including the ones we've lost. Um, had some great memories of it, especially at the old Thunderbird. Very unique hotel property, which is awesome. And one of my favorite memories is meeting Kurt Swan and bowling with him and Dan Jurgens and a bunch of other guests and volunteers during this time at a bowling alley that also had some of the best malts at that time. There was approximately 40 of us, and it was just an awesome time. And that's one of my favorite memories of the convention because that's something we, the volunteers, would do after tearing down and getting the show ended. We would take some of the guests out and have a fun time. And this time it was Dan Jurgens, Gordon Purcell, Kurt Swan, the legendary Superman artist, and it was just an awesome time and great memories. And most of us that were there still talk about to this day, including Dan Jurgens, who I talked to last month about this at the last convention. So very happy and proud of those moments. One of my other favorite things was for many years I hosted a poker game at the Thunderbird and other hotels that we moved to. Uh, it became a big event. I would take guests away from the evening parties. So eventually the convention itself adopted the poker game. At one point in time, we had all types of, guests playing with us. And at a couple different nights, we had 5 tables going. And it was just a great social event, social time for both volunteers, dealers, and guests. And they were some of the highlights of that convention too at different times. We would go to different shows like in Chicago, and some of the artists would remember that we played poker together and chit chat with us and can't wait till we come back to the next show. So again, great memories, and that lasts for about 20 years. My hopes for the future is that this convention can continue for many years. The current core volunteers have done a great job of getting it rerunning due to some various issues, including COVID and financial issues. It's just like I said, it's been part of my life since I was a teenager, so to speak, and I wanted to see it continue. And the people that are involved are very passionate about it, and I appreciate all their hard work that they do. And I do think this does give back to the convention or the community in many different ways, including interaction with local guests, regional guests, as well as just different fun events at the convention and different conventions will have different fun events, but just something I think will continue to grow, and it's more so much better than any type of like local flea market or anything like that. I just want to say thank you to all the people who have volunteered over its 4 decades, including the current members are working very hard at this. Hopefully, some of the older volunteers will see some of these messages and they want to come back and relive their youth, so to speak. Some of the friends I used to have in the convention I miss. Hopefully, people can just set aside any differences they might have and just remember why we're doing this. We love the hobby and we love the experience of the hobby and we love the experience of meeting new people as well as old friends. That's been one of the great things about the last couple of conventions. I have seen some old friends I've not seen for a long time, and just get to get caught up with them, get to get enjoy great memories and that type of thing. I mean, things do change. However, let's remember why we do this, for the love and the passion of the hobby.